she whispered, and it fast a broken bar and everyone watching the moment later would swear the world stopped. The bikers, rough-looking and loud only seconds ago, suddenly froze as they lifted the edge of her shirt and what they saw silenced even the toughest among them. But none of them knew that this moment a broken bar, this exact second a broken bar, would change all of their lives forever. Aara had been running for hours, running from a past she didn't know how to outrun. She had always been quiet, gentle, the kind of girl who apologized when someone bumped into her. But life had not been gentle back. Months of fear, of hiding, of pretending everything was normal had left her exhausted. That morning, she had slipped out of her uncle's house and walked until her legs trembled. She didn't know where she was going, she just knew she needed to escape. Finally, she collapsed near an empty stretching road, the broken bar, the road the bikers were riding on. Ryan's biker group of the Iron Hearts was known for being wild, loud, and impossible to ignore. People crossed streets to avoid them. Cars moved aside. Kids stared wide-eyed. But behind their leather jackets and roaring engines, every one of them carried a story, a scar, or wound no one else had cared about. Ryan himself had once been a street orphan, surviving off scraps and bad decisions until someone simply showed him kindness. He never forgot that day, and he vowed that if he ever saw someone suffering the same way a broken bar he would step in. When the bikers spotted Aara lying near the road, Ryan was the first to stop. "Hey, you okay?" he called out. Aara's lips trembled. She tried to sit but winced in pain. "Please see broken bar," she whispered, her breath barely audible. "Just end it fast, a broken bar." The words stabbed Ryan's heart. They weren't words of anger. They were words of someone who had lost every ounce of hope. The bikers rushed toward her, and when Ryan reached out to help her up, Aara flinched violently. "Yeah, I'm sorry," she said quickly, terrified. "I didn't mean just a broken bar, it hurts." Ryan exchanged looks with his group. Something was wrong. Very wrong. "Where does it hurt?" he asked gently. "My back," she whispered. "It's a broken bar bad." Her voice shook. Shame flushed across her face. She looked like someone who expected to be yelled at for needing help. Ryan took off his jacket immediately and held it up like a shield. "We're not here to hurt you, I promise. We're just trying to see what's wrong." After a moment of hesitation, Aara nodded. One of the bikers, Zari, the only woman in the group, knelt beside her. "I've got you," she said softly. "I'm just lifting your shirt a little, okay?" When Zara gently raised the fabric, everyone fell silent. Aara's back was covered in deep bruises, some fresh, some old, the layered pain that told a story she had been forced to hide. These were not marks from an accident. These were the prints of cruelty. The bikers froze, not in judgment, but in heartbreak. Aara lowered her head, expecting anger or disgust. "I deserved it, a broken bar," she whispered. Ryan's voice broke. No one deserves this." The words made her look up as slowly, cautiously, as if she'd heard kindness for the first time in years. The bikers acted fast. Zara wrapped Aara carefully in Ryan's jacket. Two others prepared their bikes. One of them dialed a doctor they trusted, a retired army medic who owed them a few favors. They lifted Aara gently, treating her like something precious, something fragile, something human. At the medic's cabin, Aara fought tears as the doctor tended to her wounds. "You've been living like this for how long?" the doctor asked quietly. Aara swallowed. "Since my father died. My uncle's too broken bar. He said I was a burden. He said he was teaching me discipline." Ryan clenched his fists. Zara put a hand on his shoulder before he could storm out in anger. "We'll handle it the right way," she whispered. For her, the next days were unlike anything Aara had ever known. The loud bikers spoke softly around her. They cooked meals for her. They gave her their own room in the biker house. They took turns staying awake to make sure she slept safely through the night. They didn't ask questions she wasn't ready to answer. Slowly, Aara started speaking more, smiling more, breathing easier. One evening, while everyone was sitting around a bonfire behind the biker house, Aara said softly, "You know, a broken bar, the day you found me, I thought my life was over." Ryan looked at her. It was just beginning. She looked at the flames, her eyes reflecting the light. "When Aara lifted my shirt, a broken bar, you all froze. I thought it was because I looked disgusting." Ryan shook his head immediately. "We froze because we saw how much pain you were carrying, and because we know." He paused. voice tight with emotion. We knew we weren't going to let you carry it alone anymore." That sentence broke her, in a good way. For the first time in years, Aara cried not from pain a broken bar but from relief. Weeks later, the Ironhearts went to the authorities with evidence and testimony. With the bikers protecting her every step, Aara finally confronted the man who had stolen her childhood. When it was over, she walked out of the station with a trembling breath and whispered, "I'm free a broken bar," and the bikers cheered like she had just won a war because she had. Months passed. Aara healed. She grew stronger. She started studying again. Zara taught her self-defense. The bikers who once feared became her chaotic, loving family. One afternoon, while Ryan and Aara were setting up a small roadside food stall she dreamed of opening, she turned to him and smiled. "You know," she said softly, "the day you found me broken bar I told you to end it fast." Ryan smirked. "Yeah, worst instruction you've ever given." "Why?" she asked. "Because," he said, touching her shoulder gently, "we're here to make sure your story a broken bar lasts a long, beautiful, powerful time." And for the first time, Aara believed it. Her life wasn't over, it had just truly begun.